Motors.
Store-wide savings. You'll be laughing. Your second set of prints free at Black's Photography.
Hey, you're looking good.
Celebrate Black's store-wide sale with savings on cameras, lenses, accessories. And with every roll of film processed, you get a second set of Black's big, beautiful prints free. The store-wide sale at Black's Photography.
Anywhere you look at it, Black's is photography.
You are watching WCCO Television, Minneapolis, St. Paul. All today's news with Mike Walcher, Debbie Ely. Dr. Walt Lyons has weather. Tom Hanneman has sports. And now, this is the 10 p.m. report.
Good evening, everyone. An unprecedented goose hunt in the Twin Cities area is ruffling the feathers of animal lovers.
For the past 6 days, hunters have been allowed to shoot up to 4 geese a day in rural parts of the metro area. The usual limit is 2. The Department of Natural Resources okayed that hunt to thin out the goose population. The DNR says it's working out fine, but some residents are complaining, and Trish Van Pilsen reports.
About 20,000 hunters applied for the special goose permit. That's nearly 3 times the number the DNR expected. Despite that, DNR officials are not concerned that too many geese will be harvested. That's because there are so many of them in the area. In addition, geese tend to catch on, avoiding areas where they'll be hunted.
This way.
Still, the hunt is troubling to people like Ruth Quall, who used to see a lot of geese flying over her yard.
I'm opposed to the way they're going about it. You can't call it a hunt. The geese are tame. It is a slaughter.
Quall is one of a number of people who have complained about the hunt to animal rights organizations. The Sierra Club and FATE, Friends of Animals and Their Environment, have not taken official positions on the special hunting season. But National Humane Society officials in Washington, D.C. say there are more effective and humane methods. They suggest trying to convince people not to feed geese. That would discourage them from staying here. And in spots like golf courses or farms where geese present problems, the Humane Society recommends hanging special flags that scare the birds away.
That doesn't do anything to control the numbers of birds, and this population is going to continue to expand. The habitat is so excellent in the Twin Cities area that doing those little control measures do virtually nothing.
The DNR has tried one alternative to the hunt, trapping geese and shipping them out of state, but that didn't thin out much of the population.
Another 10 minutes.
DNR officials say the hunt will not take care of the entire goose problem, but believe it is the best way to keep the population in check. Trish Van Pilsen, WCCO Television News, the Twin Cities.
The DNR says it won't know the exact number of geese killed for a few more days. The state has permission from the federal government to run the special hunting season for 2 more years. More Minnesotans are heading west to help fight the terrible rash of forest fires. Yesterday, 40 more Forest Service workers left from Duluth. Tomorrow, 18 more will leave from the Twin Cities. Their destination, hellish scenes like these. Massive fires that have gobbled up 980 square miles, destroyed 8 houses in the past day, and left 1 firefighter dead when a charred tree fell on him. The 21,000 firefighters on the lines are exhausted.
The lane is so steep, it's hard to fight. It's treacherous, really treacherous.
Oh, it's better today when we're all exhausted.
Fire crews were helped out by cooler weather, and their use of napalm started backfires that stopped the main fires in several areas today. Charred trees in the Yosemite National Forest were chopped down. One fire destroyed 3 million board feet of lumber, and the total damage in California alone is put at more than $300 million.
A very different struggle is going on in Baltimore tonight. It is the fight for life. A pair of Siamese twins from West Germany, joined at the head for the first 7 months of their lives, were separated following 22 hours of surgery. A team of 70 doctors performed the surgery on Patrick and Benjamin Binder. It went on from yesterday morning until this morning at 5 a.m. The surgery was so sensitive that doctors cooled the baby's body temperature and stopped their hearts for a time.
For a period of up to 1 hour, that state, that is, it's almost a state of suspended animation at a cold temperature. That that state can be sustained and maintained without injury to the brain.
We are very cautious. We are pleased with the progress they have made. Frankly, given the complexity of the operation, we're very grateful that they survived the operation, that they did as well as they did.
No one knows for sure how the youngsters will fare now. Doctors give them a 50-50 chance of survival. And while things look good now, they say they'll consider the operation a success when the Binder brothers leave the hospital. 8-year-old Cynthia Halitsky is still in critical but stable condition tonight. On Thursday, she became the first child to receive a heart-lung transplant at University of Minnesota Hospital. Her doctors and her parents say they are encouraged by her recovery. Cynthia is writing notes on a board and responding to people with her eyes.
The Minnesota Twins were looking for a third win in a row against the Milwaukee Brewers this afternoon, but alas, it was a quest that went unanswered. The only thing booming at the Metrodome, the bats of the Brewers. Tom Hanneman now with the Twins update. Tom?
All right, Mike. The Brewers winning the game today 6-0. If nothing else, the Twins have proved over the last few weeks they know when to lose. Losing today, but so did Oakland and Kansas City, so we really don't lose any ground except a California 1 game. They're now 5.5 behind the Twins in the American League Western Division. The Brewer bats we mentioned, and that was the story of the game along with their pitching. Milwaukee had 3 home runs today. They had not homered before in the first 2 games of the series. Rob Deere with a key blast, a 3-run shot right there. And Milwaukee easily on its way to a 6-0 victory. We'll have more highlights and much more coming up after the 10 o'clock news on Twins Extra.
Okay, thank you very much, Tom. Debbie?
Even though the Twins came out on the losing end this afternoon, and even though the game was not a sellout like last night, there were still Twins and Brewers fans out in full force at the Metrodome. Cindy Hilger has that story.
3 hours before game time, lines formed outside the Metrodome as fans waited to get tickets to today's Twins-Brewers game.
It was a sellout yesterday, and we want to get them so we don't have to sit around and watch it on TV.
So we wanted to get down here, and then we're going to go have some lunch and get some tickets so we make sure we get in.
Last night, thousands of fans were turned away as the game sold out and 54,000 people crowded into the Metrodome.
We're gonna score. We're gonna win, Twins.
No chance of that happening today. The Twins estimate this afternoon's crowd at around 37,000.
Lower deck. 3.
Many of those fans were not rooting for the Twins, but for the Brewers. Joyce Hagan and Pauline Knudsen brought 12 of their family members from Menominee, Wisconsin.
The Brewers are going to win today. Family gathering, in-laws, outlaws, cousins came up to see the Brewers win today.
A lot of the Brewer fans were frustrated after Milwaukee lost 2 close games to the Twins Friday and Saturday. Most felt that streak would come to an end today.
The Brewers are going to win their first game today in the Metrodome.
And as it turned out, the Brewer fans were right. But the series is over now, and tomorrow the Chicago White Sox come to town, and it's a whole new ball game. Cindy Hilger, WCCO Television News, Minneapolis.
Still ahead, a longtime food tradition at the State Fair will be packing it in tomorrow.
While in Kansas, President Reagan visited with a 100-year-old Republican who would have been president. Stay with us.
Why should you pay extra for a new Ford?
Why should you pay extra for a new Subaru?
Just because you live a few miles away.
From the volume buying power of Towelsley Subaru.
And Towelsley Ford in White Bear Lake.
And right now, we're trying to break every monthly sales record in the book with up to $1,500 cash back.
With 1.9% financing, the lowest in our history.
With hail-damaged cars still available at even extra savings.
Extra hours.
Extra finance men for on-the-spot delivery.
Even if you live in another state, it's worth a trip to.
So last chance, sell-a-thon prices now.
At Towelsley Ford.
Towelsley Subaru, White Bear Lake.
Pete Menigen is a happy man. But then, no one has a job quite like Pete Menigen's. One where he can release his frustration, act out his aggressions, deal with his anger. Because Pete Menigen works for the world's largest retail testing laboratory at Sears, where he gets a chance to see how well things are really made. Testing them to make sure they're worth every cent you pay for them, if not more, which gives him great satisfaction. So Pete never takes the office home with him.
That's okay, Bobby.
Pete Menigen is a happy man, and what he does for Sears will make you happy too.
What happened to your foot?
Oh, nothing.
Hi, Bob. New sandwich? Make me one. 3 kinds. Surprise me. Multigrain bun? Ooh. Chicken fillet, fresh tomato, crisp lettuce, creamy mayonnaise, and the others?
Now for a short time.
Roast beef, ham and cheese, chicken fillet.
New Supreme Specialty Sandwiches, only from Hardee's, because we're out to win you over.
Bob, just one more screenful.
Church bells rang out today as hundreds of Minnesota's Vietnamese Catholics gathered in North Minneapolis to celebrate the dedication of a new house of worship. Community leaders say the new St. Joseph Highland Catholic Church will be a place to teach their children Asian traditions and offer Mass in the mother tongue.
That's important, you see, because we came here as refugees, and many of our people, they're old and they cannot speak English very well, so the mother tongue language is very necessary for them.
St. Joseph Highland Church is named for a Vietnamese Catholic who will be canonized next year by Pope John Paul II.
It wasn't the Pope, but the President who made headlines in Topeka, Kansas. Ronald Reagan, the oldest man to serve as president, saluted the elder statesman of the Republican Party, Alf Landon. Landon turns 100 on Wednesday, and Topeka threw a birthday party for him today. Landon was the Republican candidate for president in 1936.
You don't know what a joy it is for a fellow like me to go to a birthday party for someone who can, in all honesty, call me kid.
It's a great day in my life, and it's a great day in the life of all of us.
Landon lost the 1936 election to Franklin Roosevelt in a landslide. Landon won only 8 electoral votes, the fewest of any candidate in American history.
You know, there are lots of traditions at the Minnesota State Fair, but tomorrow one of them is coming to a close. Adeline Pojar has run Pojar's Pantry for 26 years. Business this year was up by 35%. But Adeline's health, well, it's not been the best. So tomorrow, she's serving her last meal at the State Fair. Terry Sater reports.
Breakfast at Pojar's is coming to an end at the State Fair. The eggs and bacon tradition was cooked up 26 years ago by this lady here, Adeline Pojar, and her husband Bob. But Mr. Pojar died last year, and Adeline's fight with cancer is forcing her to sell.
It's better that you sell it, and you see what the place is going to look like when, while you're still here. So you know what's going to be here. I want to see somebody that is interested in the people, that's interested in the customers, and to give them what we have always given them. I mean, good food, and we've been noted for that, and so I want to see them do too.
Tradition is important to Adeline. She's posted all the pantry's fair concession numbers since 1961. The 74 number is scorched from a fire that nearly burned down the restaurant. But beyond the memorabilia is Adeline's favorite ingredient at the fair, the people.
Like these people in here, they're all neighbors, we call them, because we see them every year.
Adeline's most loyal customers are country folks. Pojar's is the only place on the fairgrounds that stays open year-round for the horse shows. The pantry has fried and scrambled 60 dozen eggs each morning during the fair. And Adeline has worked from 6 in the morning until midnight when the dinner crowd finally has their fill. But the pantry stoves will soon be cold. There's still one more day at the fair, and Adeline will be back tomorrow morning to serve her customers one last time.
If God is willing and I'm here yet, I mean, I naturally will come out here and see what's cooking.
Harry Sater, WCCO Television News at the State Fair.
The Pojar family ties to the State Fair will not be cut entirely. Adeline's son and daughter run food booths at the fair, and they hope to be around for a long time to come, and I guess we can hope they'll be around too.
Terry's going to gain the reputation of being our food reporter.
I think so.
Pojar's today, Cosetta's yesterday.
Nice job.
Yeah. Say, welcome to the weekend for one day.
Thank you.
Looks like the last long holiday weekend of the year and summer are going to end about the same time. We'll tell you about that in a minute.
When the clock strikes half past 6, babe, time to head for golden light. It's a good time for the great cake dinner at McDonald's. It's Mac tonight.
Big news, everybody! Now you can get a Big Mac at McDonald's for just 99 cents after 4 p.m. So make it a Big Mac tonight.
Take me back where I belong. Take me where it's safe and warm.
The Goodyear Vector is the all-season radial that pumps water away to keep more tire tread on the road. And for some, that's a comforting thought.
Take me home, Goodyear, take me home. Never matters how far I go. Goodyear, take me home.
What if you could treat quackgrass this fall and still have control 2 cropping seasons from now? We guarantee you can with Roundup herbicide. Just apply 1 quart per acre of Roundup this fall following application guidelines. We guarantee you'll have 85% control 2 growing seasons from now, or the Roundup to treat again is free. This guarantee applies only this fall, so see your certified custom applicator now. You know, Roundup is ideal for acres coming out of government programs, too.
Can your dreams foretell your future? Find out what your dreams mean and how you can use them to your advantage on the next Donahue.
Donahue, Monday morning at 8 on Channel 4.
We should mention that Mike Fairborn's in tonight for Dr. Walt.
Walt will be back next week.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nice weather, at least, for him to be off.
It has been. It's been very pleasant over the weekend, and it looks like it's going to last one more day. Just one more day before we get some cooler weather in. We have had some showers and sprinkles around. We have another weather system approaching us that may bring us some showers tomorrow afternoon, but much of the day is going to be pretty nice anyway. What we have going on, a cool front that's been trying to push itself through the state for the last couple of days. We've been trying to get that thing through us. Finally moved through us early this morning. Brought us the clouds. It's now over in Wisconsin. Have another system though up to the northwest. Behind that, much cooler air already up in the northwestern part of the state. Some shower and some thunderstorm activities beginning to build. That'll move down across us tomorrow afternoon, but it's going to be pretty scattered stuff, and in the meantime, our temperatures should climb into the 70s. Now, we had 70s today over much of the area, some 80s just out to the west of us, very warm down through the south and the southwest, and even right to the south of us. In fact, if you take a look at some of the highlights from around the country, the warmest temperatures were in the southwest. Palm Springs, 106 today. Cold in the mountains, though. West Yellowstone, Montana dropped to 28. Look at the rains back on the east coast. Roanoke, Virginia, 1.12 inches of rain. Greensboro, North Carolina, 1.10. Charleston, South Carolina, 2.44. A little bit of flooding back there because of the heavy rains. And is it still raining? Sure is. Some pretty heavy thunderstorm and shower activity still continuing all the way from Florida up through Georgia, South and North Carolina into Virginia. We've had some thunderstorms going on and off down in parts of Iowa throughout much of the afternoon hour. Still some pretty good thunderstorms down there. All that's going to miss us to the south as it continues to move east at about 30, 35 miles an hour. We hit 77 degrees today, 58 for an overnight low. The light sprinkle and shower activity that we had missed the airport. No precipitation reported there. Sunrise in the morning at 6:42 will set at 7:40. That's about 13 hours of daylight, and full moon will be tomorrow night. It looks almost full out there tonight, and I guess for all practical purposes it is, but tomorrow's the full moon. Tomorrow's weather map, the cool front up to the northwest will be just about on top of us by around 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. The chance of shower and thunderstorm activity will be mainly in the afternoon. It'll be fairly widely scattered. As the high pressure builds in behind that front, then our temperatures are going to begin to drop. In the meantime, we'll climb into the 70s again tomorrow, but look at the 60s up to the north of us. Those 60s will slide across us on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday and keep us in the 60s for high temperatures. So it's going to be a little bit on the fallish side as we start out all the activities for September. Beautiful shot across Lake of the Isles there in toward the city about dusk tonight. Clear, our temperature 65 degrees, humidity 65%. Winds are calm, dew point 53 degrees, and the barometer is 29.99 and rising. Tonight, then, mostly clear, 53 for an overnight low with light and variable winds. Tomorrow will be sunny in the morning, scattered showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon under partly cloudy skies, 78 degrees for a high with southwest winds 10 to 15. Then tomorrow night, Mostly cloudy, a chance of showers, 55 degrees for low. Some of those showers may linger into Tuesday. We will be cooler. It'll be breezy with a high of only around 70. That's the end of the 70s then. The extended outlook calls for 60s on Wednesday and Thursday, maybe warming up to around 70 again by Friday. Little or no precipitation, though, most of the rest of the week. Partly cloudy skies, overnight lows around 50.
Pretty soon we're going to be waking up and that dew on our morning grass is going to be frost.
Yeah, I think the possible snow season starts in 2 weeks, something like
Lovely.
that.
Well, while summer doesn't officially end until later this month, if you're like me, it seems to end with Labor Day. And Labor Day also marks the close of the state fair. The fair staff tells us that more than 180,000 of you took to the fair yesterday. So far this year, more than 1.3 million people have attended the fair, making it one of the more popular state fairs in recent years.
It's been a good one. Well, the Twins ran into a real hot pitcher today, but their rivals lost as well.
That's right. A good day all in all, despite the fact the Twins lost. The Twins proving again you can't win them all, but it didn't hurt them. We'll have highlights and more coming up next.
With the leg action coming up.
Ball hit by Darren, should score Braggs. He's being waved around by Dutcher. Here comes the throw. Braggs goes in.
I've come for silver.
Of course, he'd want new Amaco Silver.
It's high time folks had something better than regular unleaded.
You sure know your gasoline.
Oh, friend, my car knows.
For better performance than regular unleadeds, try pure Amaco Silver.
Grandpa, who was that masked man?
I don't know, son, but his car knows.
Well, Silver!
During the Crimean War, more British soldiers were dying in hospitals than on battlefields. Filth and squalor took a deadly toll until one woman arrived from England and single-handedly reshaped military medical care. Florence Nightingale gave the world a new kind of hospital dedicated to compassion and sacrifice. Her spirit still lives today in the nurses and doctors of United Hospital, St. Paul's Hospital.
What to do if it rains on Labor Day? Come to Highland Appliances' spectacular Labor Day sale and save on everything in the store. All the appliances, all 5 to 40% off. What to do if it doesn't rain on Labor Day? Come to Highland anyway. You can swim anytime, but Highland's terrific sale is Monday only from 10 to 6. So save 5 to 40% at Highland. Rain or shine. Looks like rain.
Tons of it are buried in landfills every day. But at NSP, engineers are looking at trash as a rich source of electricity. Using it will help solve an important community problem. It'll also help us keep your rates among the lowest in the country. And that helps everyone see trash in a whole new light. Creative Energy, NSP.
One of baseball's most popular phrases was proved correct again today, namely, good pitching beats good hitting. The Brewers' good pitching came from Teddy Guerra, who held the Twins to just 2 hits, a complete game shutout, his 3rd straight. The Guerra fanned 7 en route to his 15th win of the season. Milwaukee's offense came to life after 9 straight losses in the Dome. They cranked out 3 home runs, Rob Deere with a 3-run shot, and that's all she wrote. 6-0 Milwaukee, 36,000 on hand today, and they watched the Twins snap a 4-game winning streak. We'll have much more in the game, plus a look at the other contenders, and a feature on third base coach Rick Rennick on Twins Extra. Here's the good news, Twins fans, the American League scoreboard. Baltimore came back to beat Oakland today, and Kansas City fell to Chicago in 11 innings. Elsewhere, California picked up a game on the Twins. Cleveland over Boston. Toronto edged Seattle, and Texas leads Detroit 3-0 in the 4th inning. Here's the hit that kept the Twins 3 games ahead of the Athletics. A 2-run homer by Baltimore's Jim Dwyer, who was pinch hitting in the bottom of the 9th. It gave Baltimore a 7-6 win. We'll have more in the game on Twins Extra. National League Finals today. San Francisco and Chicago both winners. Montreal and St. Louis prevailed as well. Pittsburgh 4-3 over Houston. And in 16 innings, the Dodgers beat the Mets 3-2. John McEnroe's temper tantrum yesterday at the U.S. Open could cost him $17,500 plus a 2-month suspension. McEnroe plans to appeal the penalties, which won't be enforced until he's done playing in the U.S. Open. On the court, the top women had no problems at all today. A case in point, top-seeded Steffi Graf near court who disposed of Patricia Terabini in straight sets, 6-2, 6-love. Chris Everett and Pam Shriver also advanced in straight sets. On the men's side, second-seeded Stefan Edberg, also a straight sets winner. He lost just 5 games to New Zealand's Kelly Everton. Well, the highlight of every Canada Cup tournament is the game between the Soviets and the Canadians. This year's proved to be no exception. Tonight, the two teams played a surprisingly physical game. The intensity also very high. Watch Wayne Gretzky's reaction after scoring a goal. That tied the score at 3 late in the third, and that's the way it ended. 3-3, no overtime in these games. The U.S. lost to Czechoslovakia 3-1. They're eliminated from further competition. Well, track's 10-day Tournament of Champions ended today in Italy with a flurry of new meet records. A world record high jumper, Patrick Sjöberg of Sweden, soared 7 feet 9 3/4 inches to take the gold medal. 2 Soviets also cleared that amazing height, but Sjöberg took home the gold because he had fewer misses. This was a disappointing day for Britain's Steve Cram, who faded from 1st to 8th in the final lap of the 1,500-meter run. Cram's collapse opened the door for Somalia's Abdi Bili, who went on to win the gold in a time of 3 minutes, 36.8 seconds. First time in 10 years that an Englishman has not been the 1,500-meter world champion. American Jim Spivey finished 3rd in the event. This has been quite a holiday weekend for one horse player. The fruits of his labor, $43,000 after picking 6th at Canterbury Downs today. The 7th race on that Canterbury card was a simulcast of the Arlington Million held at Arlington Park and won by Manila and super jockey Angel Cordero Jr. With 6,000 winners under his saddle, Cordero calls Manila the best horse I've ridden on grass. Manila's won 10 of 11 races this year. Got to go. Twins Extra coming up. Got to get over to the studio.
Okay, we'll see you in just a moment.
All right.
Very good. Thanks, Tom. Well, looking ahead to tomorrow's forecast, Mike Fairborn's telling us a pretty decent day. Chance of afternoon showers, but a high around 78 degrees.
Get out and enjoy the morning. We now leave you with a first look of the end of summer from our photographer, Bill Kruzkop. Good night.
We're Boone and Erickson, wishing you a safe Labor Day weekend. If you're going to the fair, stop by our CCO Radio Broadcast Center. We'll be broadcasting live, 8 tomorrow morning.
One weekend a year, Minnesota's only 5-star Ford dealer, Bob Carter Ford, brings you our sale of sales. For 2 days only, Saturday and Labor Day, you'll find bargains all over our lot. Discounts are here this holiday weekend at Bob Carter Ford, 7 minutes east of the airport at the new 494 in South Roberts in Inver Grove Heights.
Come on over, baby, whole lot of breakfast going on.
Introducing the Bagel Breakfast Sandwich.
Come on over, baby, won't be here for long.
Only at Burger King.
We ain't baking, whole lot of breakfast going on.
Fast, tasty breakfast. Fresh eggs. Bacon, ham, or sausage with melted cheese on a hot, soft bagel.
Come on over, baby, whole lot of breakfast going on.
Burger King, the best food for fast times.
We just got this great new Express Meals oven from Sunbeam. It's a toaster broiler oven and a microwave oven all in one. The whole family's using Express Meals. Last night we had company and my wife cooked a complete chicken dinner, including dessert. The kids use it for everything from snacks and quick lunches to popcorn. Even I'm using new Express Meals. See? Hot coffee in just a minute.
New Express Meals from Sunbeam. It's all you need for great meals in less time.
Benny Hill.
Tonight on Channel 4.
WCCO Television Sports presents Twins Extra.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Twins Extra. I'm Tom Hanneman. Well, after 9 consecutive losses in the Metrodome, the Brewers finally broke through today, blanking the Twins 6-0. The Twins were beaten today, but they didn't lose any ground, that is, in the division race. The Twins have never had much success against Ted Higuera. He's 5 in one lifetime against Minnesota, but no one has had too much luck against this guy. Higuera, a 2-hitter today en route to his 3rd consecutive shutout. The Brewer race has now tossed 28 1/3 scoreless innings. He's only allowed 3 hits in his last 18 innings, 7 strikeouts today to raise his season total to 207, a club record. Steve Carlton lost his 4th consecutive start despite holding the Brewers to just 3 hits through 7 innings. He also walked 6 and gave up this Glenn Bragg solo homer in the 7th inning. George Frazier came on in relief in the 8th, but he offered none. Milwaukee raked him for 4 runs, 3 on this blast by Rob Deere, his 27th of the year. More problems for Frazier a few moments later. This time, Bill Schroeder takes him downtown to complete the Brewers' scoring. 38,000 in the stands today, 115,000 for the series. Tom Bernanski was the last batter of the game last night. He closed things out today as well with a drive that fell just short of the seats. Mark Davidson and Kirby Puckett, the only Twins able to get a hit off Higuera today. Higuera now has 11 complete games this season, improves his record to 15-9. After the game, Kirby Puckett summed up the afternoon.
Oh, Teddy was great today. He's getting all of his pitches over for strikes and throwing a good fastball today, about 91, 92 miles an hour. And there's not much you can do with him today, the way he was throwing today, but just go out and do the best you can. And today was just his day, that's all.
Now, as we said earlier, the good news for the Twins is that they hardly lost any ground today, none to the Oakland A's. The rains in Baltimore couldn't keep Mark McGwire from hitting his 42nd homer of the year, and it put the A's ahead 1-0. And the lead changed hands several times before Baltimore's Jim Dwyer delivered a 2-run homer while pinch hitting in the bottom of the 9th. Here it is. All of a sudden, Oakland has lost the game 7-6 and a chance to climb within 2 of the Twins. Kansas City also lost today to Chicago in 11 innings. Steve Lyons, nicknamed Psycho, will show up in some Kansas City nightmares tonight. He drove home Carlton Fisk with the winning run, and the Royals lost 5-4 in 11. The only contender to win today was California. Johnny Ray is proving to be a fine late-season acquisition. The second baseman drove in a run and scored another as the Angels beat the Yankees 3-1. So let's look at the standings as they sit right now. The Twins, well, they hold on to a 3-game lead over Oakland. Kansas City is 5.5 back. Same story with California. Well, question, which Major League team has left the fewest men on base this season? The answer, the Twins. We'll examine one reason why when we return.
When you need a home equity loan, you don't need your old bank taking bites out of your equity for appraisal fees and title insurance. At First Minnesota, you don't have to pay those charges on loans up to $50,000. Plus, you won't pay points or annual fees. So go to the new bank for your home equity loan before the old bank eats you out of house and home.
First Minnesota, the new bank.
Honey, look, I'm sorry about the Yamato. I thought that you liked the strawberry and cream best, so I figured it'd be all right if I ate the last raspberry and cream.
The Pope has defended the meeting, but he told the group